So I want to do a quick comparison between this new TWSBI Go and the TWSBI Eco. I'm a big fan of this Eco. I have a few of them. I think it offers a huge amount of value. If you're going to buy a fountain pen, I think this is pretty much the one to go, and it's usually the one I grab. It sells for about $28, $29 maybe, where the Go sells for about 18 or 19. So it's from a percentage standpoint, a pretty big step down, but from an absolute standpoint, you're talking about 2 cups of coffee or something like that. Not a huge difference, but might make a difference for some people, especially if you like to have a bunch of these, like 3 or 4. It could start to add up. So primary difference, obviously, in the design, the Eco uses a kind of a more classic fountain pen design, which is to say it has a screw top, it has a metal clip, it has a piston fill, kind of like the standard things you want to see in a fountain pen, but it was brought down to that $28, $29 price point. The Eco, that's the Eco. With the Go, you have a number of trade-offs now. The clip is gone. You move to this little lanyard hook. I don't even know what this is. You're supposed to put a rope through it and wear it around your neck. Maybe. I don't know the point of this except to be a roll stop. And it works okay at that. It'll stop it here, but if it has any movement to it, it won't stop it. So it's particularly not very effective to me. Also, the screw top is gone. Now you have a push pull, which is fine. It's not like, it doesn't have that classy feeling of opening and closing, but it's not a huge loss in my opinion. Plus you could do it pretty easily with one hand, where, opening and closing a fountain pen with one hand, where you're trying to twist this and this, but not this, can be a little bit annoying. Lastly, the piston fill, so the twist piston fill has been replaced by this plunger fill, and I'll show you that right now. Basically, it has the spring, which is actually surprisingly strong. I guess probably to prevent you from accidentally pushing it down. You basically depress it and let it go, and then it will suck up some ink, and actually it works really well. I have no complaints with the fill, except that it really dominates the design of the pen. You could see that, like, when you look at it, it looks like basically a couple pieces of plastic and a giant spring, not like this, which, if you don't know anything about pens and you looked at this pen, like, I don't know, it's got some metal on it, it has a pretty nice band, it's got some stuff inside, it's got a lot of ink. That looks like a nice pen. This thing, it looks a little bit like a toy, like maybe a child's pen or a novelty pen. It does have some of the features you might expect from a TWSBI. So it has that TWSBI finial. I think it's probably the same as the one on the Eco. And I guess this is really important, should have mentioned this by this point. The 2 pens use the same nib. So it's a TWSBI nib. It's a TWSBI branded nib. I forget the company that makes it, Joyo or something like that. I forget who currently makes it, but it's a steel nib. There's both in broad, and the Go is available in all the sizes you would expect, from extra fine up to the 1.1 millimeter stub. So if all you care about is the nib, then the Go is a great option, because you're spending $10 less, or 1/3 less, and you're getting the same actual business instrument. Aesthetically, clearly, it's a very different pen. Just to look at the Go some more, again, push top, which works fine. It's never going to accidentally come off, which I really like, but it's not a super high quality feeling to it, the way a twist is. For a clip-on, or whatever you want to push on it, it works fine. I do not like this thing, add a buck to the price and give me a full clip. That I think was kind of a no-brainer, but maybe I'm alone there. As for the section, it's pretty nice. You know, it feels like you're writing with a reasonably sized section. Might be a little thin at the end for some people, but I didn't have a problem with it. I just kind of hold it back more. It's not a problem. Has that sort of triangular feel to it, just like with the Eco. So the two are quite similar there. And obviously, again, the nib is the same. So if that's all you care about, I have the broad nib from the Eco on this pen. Aesthetically, not a huge fan. I think this thing really goes in favor of the Eco, but that's really to each his own type thing. And that about covers it. I didn't want to do a full review of the Go, as a lot of people have posted those, but I did want to do this comparison, so I think it's a lot more interesting. The Go works well. It writes nicely. I'll do a quick writing sample. This is the TWSBI Go Broad. No problems there at all. So if all you care about is functionality, then no complaints with the Go. And here's the basically identical. You shouldn't see any difference there. I believe they even have the same ink in them. So back to the point, if all you care about is functionality and the nib, then the Go is gonna get the job done. And the fact that it's under $20 is it's pretty impressive to me. That to do that, it lost almost all the metal parts except for the nib, obviously, and that giant spring. And it had to become kind of ugly just to, not to mince words. I think it is just not a handsome pen. Size-wise, it's actually pretty reasonable. It's very close to the size of the Eco, and it might be a little thicker in diameter here just to accommodate that spring, but I haven't pulled the calipers out. It does roll, which I find to be infuriating. Uncapped. See if we can get that lined up. Almost the same length, a little bit shorter than the Eco, but the functional length is really similar. You're just losing a little bit of this twist mechanism back here. For my money, I would definitely recommend the Eco. It's really a great pen. It feels a lot more elegant and more enjoyable to use to me than the Go, and you're still under $30. If you're particularly price sensitive, or again, you're buying 5 or 6 of these, which you want it in every size, then the Go is gonna save you some money and also offer a lot of bang for the buck. The one thing I forgot to mention was that the feed and the nib, I believe they're fixed, or they're press fit, just like with the Eco, but I would not recommend pulling them out. Every time I've pulled it out, I've had problems getting it back in, and not really enjoyed using that pen so much afterwards. But yeah, just to reiterate, for my money, spend a little bit more, get the Eco. If you're hyper price sensitive and you want a solid fountain pen for under 20 bucks, then the Go is a really nice option. And I do vastly prefer the TWSBI Go to something like the Pilot Metropolitan. This is my preferred instrument, but this is way, way better, and I prefer the Eco over the more expensive 580 from TWSBI. Thanks for watching.